Oh my goodness, I'm Maxwell Garcia, and this should be a quick review on ESPN Plus. And ESPN Plus is an extremely limited demographic subscription service because not only do you have to kind of care about sports, you have to be in love with sports and all that sports comes with. The stories, the up and downs, the breakthroughs, the struggles, the film, everything, the in and outs of sports. That's what you have to be in love with to get and appreciate ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is $5 a month. ESPN is owned by Disney, so they do have a bundle with ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu with ads all bundled together for $13, or you could get ESPN Plus by itself for $5. I have the bundle because I like everything in that bundle. But for most people, the bundle is kind of useless because they just don't care about sports. So what does ESPN Plus give? And when I first got it, I was extremely confused because it's not really too clear. You're not getting any of the ESPN channels. You're not getting ESPN with Monday Night Football and the other sports that they have, college football, college basketball, certain NBA games. You're not getting ESPN. You're not getting ESPN2, not getting ESPN News or ESPNU. You're just really getting ESPN Plus. Well, it's crazy, but what is in ESPN Plus? Well, in ESPN Plus, you're going to have certain college basketball and college football games and MLS games. So from a live sports standpoint, it's not really too worth it because if you are just relying on ESPN Plus and you don't have any cable television, you're missing out on so many sports. Not only like the premier NBA and NFL games, you're missing on most of the top tier college football and college basketball talent. You get a ton of like lower tier college basketball games. So like Loyola Chicago versus Vermont, that game's going to be on ESPN Plus. And they do have some specials, like some Big 12 and other games were exclusively on ESPN Plus. So some Kansas basketball games, and I know there's a bunch of people who are just fans of Kansas basketball, like my calculus teacher, he's a huge fan, so he had to get ESPN Plus just to watch them. So from a live sports standpoint, not too good. But here's the thing, it's not just that. So you do get every single UFC fight. So every month I think they have a UFC fight, and even though there's no sports right now, like you go to ESPN and everything is just postponed, and it's really sad to see. Without sports, it's like the timeline has stopped on life. Sadly, I miss those stories, those underdogs, the achievers, the disappointments. I miss sports, and right now there's no sports. So this is where that other part of ESPN Plus comes into play. So you do get the live UFC, the live MLS games, the live some college basketball and football games. We get that. What else do you get? Well, you also get access to a bunch of ESPN articles. You now have access to every single article that ESPN comes out with. So if Mel Kiper or Todd McShay comes out with an ESPN mock draft, you now have access to it. Free agent draft rankings list, you have access to it. And sure, could you find a way to maneuver that information from other companies and other sources? Yes, but it's just convenient to go through ESPN since that is the top platform for sports. It's just nice and easy to go there. Convenience is key and everything, and that's what this subscription kind of offers for sports fans. But you have to be hardcore sports. If you're just like, hey, I watched the Super Bowl and maybe the NBA Finals, that's it, then you don't even think about this. And also, ESPN Plus, you get access to every single 30 for 30. Every single ESPN sports documentary, which is a huge library, whether that be the amazing, fantastic, spectacular, out of this world documentary on the O.J. Simpson murder, or not murder, and he wasn't guilty, whether it's that documentary or like the Four Falls of Buffalo or like Dwayne Wade's documentary, or the documentary that's coming up about Michael Jordan that's going to premiere on April 19th. access to every single documentary. It's pretty nice. And also you get exclusive shows. Exclusive shows? What? They have sports shows? They have a few. I won't say like there's a lot of them, but there's like 3 that are actually pretty good. And that's Peyton's Places, The Boardroom, and The Rooks. So let's go through all 3. Peyton's Places is a 30-episode season on the history of the NFL. There's no telling if they're going to make a second season, but throughout the 30 episodes, Peyton Manning, who I absolutely love, I have a ton of respect for Peyton Manning because he's kind of like Tom Brady. He's not the most athletic guy, but he is just crazy smart and brilliant. And I love football players like that because you're just over surmounting your physical boundaries and just breaking through like with that mental barrier. I love that. I love Peyton Manning and his personality. I love, and he's kind of really deep in that football history. His father played in the NFL. His brother beat the Patriots 2 times in the Super Bowl, and his other brother Cooper Manning would have probably been in the NFL if he didn't have a career-ending injury. Anyways, Peyton Manning meets a ton of people, whether that be Ray Lewis, J.J. Watt, a ton of older players like Joe Montana. Like, I guarantee it. You just learn so many stories about the NFL. He also meets Antonio Brown in one episode, which is kind of funny and ironic since he's no longer there. But you just learn so much about the NFL, like how the AFC and the NFC was like it was called the championship game up until after Super Bowl III, when they finally declared that's just going to be called the Super Bowl, and how the NFC beat the AFC both times, who was the Packers, Vince Lombardi. I have a ton of respect for Vince Lombardi. He came up with like most of football, him and Blair Walsh. I have a ton of respect for Johnny Unitas. So many players that you kind of just overlooked in the past, because it's hard to imagine like football 100 years ago, like 1920, like it actually existed. It did. Although it was just like run and run and run. It's very interesting. And it was also a very interesting tidbit how the NFL broke through the race barrier before Jackie Robinson joined the MLB. But no one really talks about that. It's a looked over story. I also realized that the Bears played in Wrigley Field before they played in Soldier Field. I didn't know that. A bunch of facts about the NFL is explored, like the immaculate reception or the immaculate catch. Like just Peyton Manning going through like history, talking about football and the NFL. I love it. And he also has like a little episode with Tom Brady. It's good comedy here and there. It's light and it's really insightful about the NFL. So I really do like Peyton Places. If you're a football geek, I definitely recommend it. Going to the next show that's called Rooks, and Rooks is just like the behind the scenes look on the 2019 NBA rookies' lives. So you get an inside look on Zion Williamson, my favorite player right now in the NBA, is Ja Morant. He doesn't like the Elvis sandwich. You can see his bond with like Jaren Jackson. They're like two in the same. You also get to see Bol, RJ Barrett, Kobe White. I also really love Kobe White's personality. You also get to see DeAndre Hunter. So you get to see certain rookies' life in the NBA and how they're adapting to a whole new lifestyle, because you only play 30 games in college and then that goes to like 82 in the NBA. That's a significant jump. And you like the players talk about how they're just go from city to city like day after day, and I'm like, dang, it's hard. It's a tough life with all that travel. It's definitely not easy, and I definitely have a ton of respect for those NBA players, and especially those rooks who are doing it for the first time. You get to see how Zion bounced back from his injury, how Ja has won Rookie of the Year. You get to see all these storylines, how Kobe White has come off the bench and put up multiple 30-point performances. I love seeing like sports personalities because sometimes they just aren't streamlined too much. It's kind of just the basics, like just their accomplishments. But I love seeing people's personalities. That's what makes them them. And that's what makes the stories in sports. And the last show is The Boardroom. I haven't seen season 2 of The Boardroom, but The Boardroom season 1 was just getting like Kevin Durant and other sports stars like PJ Tucker, and just getting them around with like a couple owners, Steve Ballmer, just a bunch of people in the NBA, and they just talk about like certain parts of the NBA, whether that be sneakers or ownership, just various things about the NBA, and just a casual conversation. And it's all right. Nothing special, just a conversation, and they record it. But I'll take it for ESPN Plus. Is it worth it? For 99.9% of people, it's not. It's just not. You have to be in love with sports. You have to live, breathe sports. And if you're not doing that, then don't get ESPN Plus. Because you have Netflix, you have Disney Plus, you have Hulu, you have HBO Max, you have Quibi, you have NBC's Peacock, and a bunch that I'm forgetting. So if ESPN Plus isn't for you, if you're not feeling it, then don't get it. You'll know when you need it. Trust me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you bless. Peace out.